the last meeting, it has taken me a little bit of time to get my feet underneath me and you hit the ground running here in Bell Gardens. We've got lots of cool stuff going on, so it's been super exciting.
Nice to meet you and welcome.
Thank you. Hopefully I'll get to see you all in person one of these days very soon.
Yeah, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
And I feel the same way. I just started a new role at work and right now I'm just hitting the ground running right now.
Yeah.
I can't even catch up.
Yeah. It's good, but I've got this amazing team that's just been such a blessing. I seriously don't know what I would have done. So it's very exciting, and they've kind of kept me up to date with everything that that they've been presenting and talking, and that you all have been talking about and things. And so it's good. It's good stuff. Hey, Daisy. Is my face super, I feel like does it look like I have a lot of light on my face? It does, huh? Let me see if I change. Well, no, that's not going to work. Sorry, guys. I don't know what it is. Just, I guess the way my lights are, it's very bright.
It's just shining. That's all.
Yeah. Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So it's how I hide all the flaws, so you can't see all the flaws. Yes.
We all here? I thought I saw Oscar. Oh, he's there. Okay.
Are we missing anybody else, Daisy?
I think that's it. I'm just printing the newsletter.
Let me know when you guys are ready, and then we can go ahead and start.
Let me close my door.
So I guess I should mention just a little bit about myself before Daisy, you know what? I don't have the agenda in front of me. Let me see. Hold on one second.
I sent it last night,
Yeah,
but I can resend it right now.
No. I have it right here. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Just open it. I didn't know if there was an opportunity for introductions at all or not, but maybe really quickly.
Yeah, you can do that now. The meeting won't officially start until I read the opening statement.
Oh, okay. Just so you guys know, I came from the city of Norwalk most recently. I worked there for 14 years, and I was serving as the acting director there for the last 2 years and the recreation superintendent. And before that, I worked in the social services department and the HR department as a senior management analyst. I also worked as a recreation supervisor at the Norwalk Senior Center and a recreation coordinator. So coming here to Bell Gardens was such a huge blessing, because it felt like all of my experience wrapped up into one department, which is fantastic. Norwalk is a little unique that the social services department, which is similar to our community services department, is a completely separate department with a separate department head, and recreation is on the other side of the house. And so although I had experience in both departments, coming here, it's really great to put it all together, because I feel like that's what we are anyway. I mean, we serve the community in that capacity. So over 14 years of that experience that I'm coming to Bell Gardens with, and I'm so excited to be a part of this fantastic team. Everyone's been so great so far. So the future looks so bright here, and I can't wait to move things along. So, okay, that's it. Just so you had some background.
I agree. I think we're all really excited. So welcome Liz, and welcome commissioners, and we'll go ahead and get started. On March 4th, 2020, Governor Newsom proclaimed a state of emergency in California as the result of the threat of COVID-19. On September 16th, 2021, Governor Newsom signed Assembly Bill 361, which was effective immediately and amends Government Code Section 54953 to allow a local legislative body to hold public meetings via teleconferencing and to make public meetings accessible telephonically or otherwise electronically to all members of the public seeking to observe and to address the local legislative body. Pursuant to AB 361, please be advised that members of the Education Commission may participate in meetings telephonically. The public may view the meeting and participate participate remotely. And we can, Chairperson Francis, we can call the meeting to order.
Okay, thank you. I call this meeting to order at 5:04 on March 10th. Can we please move on to roll call?
Chairperson Francis de Leon Sanchez,
Present?
Commissioner Oscar Boado Jr.,
President,
Commissioner Miguel Flores. Present, I see him. You're mute. Okay, Commissioner Jonathan Herrera,
present,
Commissioner Cristina Paulo.
Present.
Thank you.
Daisy, can you just let the record show Commissioner Miguel Flores is present? I think he's having trouble with his audio.
Yes, he's present. I see him.
Was the agenda posted in accordance to the regulations?
Agenda was posted according to state law.
Thank you. Are there any public comments on this agenda item?
No,
Okay. Are there any calendar items to approve?
no.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to our first item of business, which is the approval of two agendas, minute meetings for January 13th and February 3rd. Are there any additions, deletions, or revisions to January 13th or February 3rd meeting minutes?
No revisions.
Thank you. Okay. With that being said, if there's no revisions, can I get a motion to approve the minutes for January 13th and February 3rd?
I motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second motion.
Thank you so much. Those have been approved. Now we're going to move on to item number 2, which is the Education Commission reorganization. I'm going to ask the secretary to go ahead and call for nominations.
Give me just a second.
I'm sorry, I think she's having people at the counter.
No worries.
I can almost hear it through my door. I can assist her if we can wait just a second. Daisy, would you like me to assist with the nominations?
Yes.
Okay, are there any nominations? I think because we have a quorum now, we can nominate for both vice chair and chair. So let's start with nominations for a vice chair.
I have a quick question, if
Yes, sir.
that's okay. Is this now gonna be called the Recreation, Cultural, and Education?
No, that's what I addressed before the meeting started,
Okay.
that it should just be the Education Commission.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was confused.
That's okay. I think it was sent over from the Recreation Commission. But when we first organized, we didn't have a complete commission, so we only nominated a chairperson. And now that the commission is full, we can nominate for both vice chair and chairperson. And it'll happen annually. So once a year, we'll reorganize.
Awesome. Thank you for that information.
Would anybody like to nominate for vice chair of the Education Commission?
I nominate Christina Paulo for vice chair.
Okay, are there any other nominations?
I nominate Commissioner Flores for chair.
Anna, maybe let's do one first and then let's do vice chair first and then we'll hold on to the nomination for
Right.
Commissioner Flores for chair and then.
Right. Any other nominations for vice chair? Okay. Daisy, are you able to take a roll call?
Yes, so.
Okay. So we're gonna vote. The nominations are Christina Paulo and Miguel Flores are both nominated for vice chair of the Education Commission.
Okay, so we're first gonna do Christina Paulo for vice chair, correct? I wasn't able to hear.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
and Miguel Flores.
and Miguel Flores. Okay, both of them for vice chair.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna vote first, how many in for Christina Paulo? In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And there's 2,
Aye.
3. Okay. So that's
3.
3. So that'll be, Christina Paulo will be for vice chair. Okay. And now for chairperson, do we have anybody that we have to nominate?
Yeah, I nominate Commissioner Flores for that one.
Commissioner Flores, Miguel Flores. Anyone else? Are we all in favor?
Aye.
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 So Commissioner, Chairperson Miguel Flores. Okay.
Sorry about that. I was confused because I thought we were gonna do both Commissioner Paula and Commissioner Flores for vice chair. So I was confused and about that. Sorry.
It's
That's okay.
1.
So the reason there wasn't another round of voting is because
This is
3
okay.
votes was enough
Okay.
Mhm.
for
Okay.
Paulo. Mhm.
That's good.
And so now Chairperson Flores, then you'd run the rest of the meeting.
Yes.
Well, this is effective immediately.
Congratulations.
Hey, may I add something? I just want to thank Chairperson Francis De Leon Sanchez for an amazing job she did this past year. Thank you for everything, Chairperson.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and actually, I tip my hat to Chairperson Francis Dillon. This you definitely set the bar pretty high. You moved us along the way and kept us very organized and diligent. And I appreciate the nomination, Commissioner Oscar, for that as well. All right, so I embarrassingly am on a different computer, so I need to get access to the agenda. So if someone can go ahead and email me that because my city email is not logged into this.
Okay.
Daisy, could you email me the agenda to my personal email, please?
Yes, I'll send it right now.
Or we can help you along too if you prefer that, but just so
Absolutely.
you know, yeah, just so you know, if that is an option that you'd like, you have that, but for sure we'll send you over the agenda.
Yeah, I can move on with the department update while Daisy sends you a copy of the agenda.
Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome, my pleasure. Our first update is on the LGBTQ youth group. It's the LGBTQ plus and allies youth group. They'll resume in-person meetings effective Thursday, March 24th. They've been hosting their meetings virtually, and so they'll be back in person, and they'll lead bi-monthly meetings every second and fourth Tuesday of each month. Youth ages 12 to 26 years old can attend the meetings to receive resources and to socialize with those who identify or support the LGBTQ community. And they'll meet here at Veterans Park at 5 p.m. every second and fourth Thursday of each month. We have a bit of a success story from the Community Family Service Center. Juan Cervantes is a resident that first contacted the Community Family Service Center looking for homeless resources. Staff assisted Mr. Cervantes and successfully connected him to a temporary shelter at the Salvation Army in Bell. And he continues to receive assistance from the Community Family Service Center to find a permanent housing solution. In addition, Mr. Cervantes has received additional resources such as the food distributions, medical and dental appointments, county benefits, and complimentary transportation services. We will continue to provide success stories from the Community Family Service Center, and he's the first to be highlighted. And we're very proud and eager to continue aiding other residents who need support. And that's, again, one of many, right, success stories. So we're very happy to announce that. There's also a new partnership coming to the city that will provide free COVID-19 PCR testing at Bell Gardens Veterans Park. Staff is actively working with Culminate Care to offer free COVID-19 rapid tests to the community. And those are expected to be available within the next 2 weeks. And you'll see a new flyer coming out soon. The Bell Gardens Senior Center will be hosting a spring boutique Friday, March 25th, and they're working with a local high school teacher. Some of you may know Ms. Garabedian. And she's organized students and teachers to collect t-shirts, socks, and an assortment of clothes for the Bell Gardens senior citizens. And local seniors are invited to attend to select free items to update their spring wardrobe. The senior center will serve snacks and beverages to enhance the boutique experience. So sounds like a really exciting project. We do have in-person events coming again. And the Recreation and Community Services team is looking forward to our spring season and to returning to in-person events. And first on our department list is our Spring Festival, which will be hosted Saturday, April 9th from noon to 4 at Veterans Park. And the event will include an Easter egg hunt for children ages 3 to 17, arts and crafts, games, music, food, and lots of fun. We're also planning an Earth Day event for Saturday, April 23rd, also from noon to 4 at Veterans Park. And this year's theme for Earth Day is Invest in Our Planet. And the theme will be incorporated into the activities provided at the event. We'll have educational stations and fun events geared towards providing valuable information about preserving our planet. And some of the projected activities include tree planting, marigold planting for the children, tie-dye crafts, chalk art, and a drum circle. We'll also be inviting local environmental clubs, and the Girl Scout troop will also be hosting an interactive booth. Coming in May, we'll have a Memorial Day celebration, and that'll be at the memorial here at Veterans Park, Monday, May 30th. And that'll be a special ceremony hosted and a presentation of colors for the entire community to enjoy. And we'll provide more information as the date approaches. And we're also planning an Independence Day celebration. And that'll be held Saturday, July 2nd at Veterans Park. And we're looking into the possibility of a parade as well as a laser light show for the residents to enjoy. And more details will be shared as the date approaches. And we're very excited about our Education Commission Cesar Chavez Essay and Art Contest that we'll be launching this week. I did share the flyer with our chairperson, Francis Sanchez de Leon, before we sent it to the printer. And we should be receiving those flyers on Friday, and they'll go out to the schools next week. So just to recap is the prompts for the essay contests, essay and art contests were: how did Cesar Chavez inspire and influence our society today? And how has Cesar Chavez inspired you to live a life of service to others? And again, the essay and art contest will be open for grades K through 12. And the winners will be highlighted on the city's website, social media pages, and honored at a special council meeting. A reminder that students may submit a project for both the art and essay contests. And also that we have $100 awards for teachers with the most exciting and enriching lesson plans. I will be emailing you all a final version of the flyer so that you can share as well. And then we'll be moving it along. And remember, we plan to view the artwork here in Ross Hall, and we'll need to get together to review the essays as well. Youth sports registration is wrapping up for spring youth sports programs. And our department is offering small fry soccer for children ages 4 to 7, youth baseball for children ages 8 to 14. And in the summer, we're looking to provide teen basketball, youth softball, and small fry t-ball. And finally, our spring day camp will be held at the Neighborhood Youth Center for both youth and teens the week of April 18th through the 22nd. That's when MUSD will be on spring break. Camp hours are from 8 to 2 with the option of early drop-off. And the Bell Gardens resident fee is $25 per child. Non-residents are $30 for the week, and that includes a continental breakfast, fun activities, and so much fun. And anybody who needs care after day camp is welcome to stay at the Neighborhood Youth Center, where their parents can pick them up at 5 p.m. One last thing is that our staff is exploring the possibility of hosting a farmer's market or night market here in Bell Gardens. And staff has reached out to various local markets, and we're researching the mandates, budgetary needs, and requirements to host a successful farmer's market. And I know that all of you will be excited about that. And that's all we have for our department update. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I do. Yeah, I just thank you for that. That we have so many programs that we're starting back up. But in addition to that, I just wanted to touch base really quick and give you guys a really, really brief overview of the grants and the CIP projects that we're looking forward to rolling out. The department and the city has acquired quite a bit of funding through state and federal and local grants. And so really quickly, as you all I'm sure are aware, we're looking to renovate our aquatic facility. That project is chugging right along. We're going through funding resources and availability and things, and we have our plans in place. We're sending our plans to the county to be reviewed. And so that project's moving along. We received state funding from Proposition 68, which allows us to renovate Veterans Park. And so we just received that award notification. And so we're working on getting that ball rolling. received a grant from an agency called Kaboom to help us replace the playground at Darwell Park, which is really exciting. And we'll reach back out to you all. Part of that grant requires the city to acquire volunteers to actually help with putting the playground together. So it's really, really exciting because residents actually get to get hands-on in putting the playground together. So once we have more solidified information about dates and things, we'll come back to you and let you know. But hopefully by the beginning of summer, we'll be able to have that project completed at Darwell Park. We were recently notified of a grant that we received from Los Angeles County. It's a competitive grant through the Measure A funds, and that is to renovate Marlowe Park and update the playground to add some ADA components, to demolish the current building that's there and to put in a new restroom facility and to add some upgrades to the park. And then we just received word that we had received another grant from the state to replace the playground at Asmus and Hannon Park, I believe.
It was Hannon, as
Hannon.
Hannon.
Hannon Park. And then we are on the cusp of receiving a grant for outdoor recreation, which will allow us to provide hiking trips and outdoor trips for families within the community, and also a grant to promote and provide programs for women in seeking jobs that our community and family services will undertake, center will undertake. So we have so much coming down the pipeline. Essentially all but maybe one or two of our parks are going to get a nice little facelift and upgrade. And so of course these things will take some time, but we have so much to look forward to in our department, not just with the return of the programs and the in-person programming, but with the big infrastructure projects that we have going on as well. So we got a lot. It's really, really great.
We do have a lot. I didn't even touch on the recreation classes that started again this month. I can send you all an update. We have a calendar with a list of all the classes that started. I know you all were very invested in those. So I'll just give you a try and be brief update. Besides our creative kids, we've also started a slice of art class for 3 different age groups. We've started kids cooking for 2 age groups, and that includes a teen cooking class. We've started our Pepster program once again. We started a mad science class once a week. We've also started a coloring club, which we were very surprised to get lots of participants for. And our hip hop class is growing. We've brought our Ballet Folklorico class back on Saturdays. We've also started a painting class on Fridays called World of Color, and that's for 2 different age groups. And our fusion class on Fridays has been growing as well. And so we're so excited to have participants back in the park. A little bit of shifting and running around from different rooms, and kids trying to find their teacher. It's been fun to see the parents here registering. And I think that's why DZ had to go off mic for a little bit, because all the I Can Dance parents have been popping into the office this afternoon to make sure they register their child. So we're excited to be back, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. So that's the class update I have for you all. I think that's a lot.
It's clearly reflective of all the greatness that's happening. Does anybody have any questions regarding the update? No, okay, so let's move on to our next agenda item. Anna, you mentioned the SA art contest, which is our next agenda item. Does any commissioner have any additional questions about the SA art contest? Or Anna, is there anything else you'd like to add?
The only thing we made a change to was the amount in the awards, but I know I shared them with you all via email, just because we wanted to make sure to use the entire $5,000 and not leave any of it sitting. And so we just increased the amounts awarded. But I did share those with all of you via email before it went to print. So that's the only change on our end. We're excited to get feedback, and now that we're working with the art teacher at the high school, I think it'll encourage more of the older students to participate. And we'll be counting on you as well to get the word out.
Can we just confirm the date that we're going to view the art at Ross Hall? I think we had said April 14th, that Thursday, but I just want to make sure that we have that date correct. I don't recall if we were going to do that Thursday or that Friday. So
I believe we said Thursday in lieu of a meeting. So if everyone is still in agreement with that, our meeting will, our meeting date will be the day we review the work.
And that would be the April 14th.
14th. The deadline is April 8th.
Okay.
So we should have all the submissions in by then.
So the goal is to view the artwork on April 14th, and then are we going to announce the winners or have a joint meeting with the city council?
That is what we're aiming to do, yes. I am just seeking some additional comments from the city manager about it, but that is what we presented to do kind of like a social media campaign and post the winners on all our social media outlets and on our web pages, send them an actual letter to their homes of the award, and then also invite them to a council meeting to be recognized. So as soon as we have confirmation on all that, I'll ask Anna if you could send the updated info. But yes, we're aiming to do that.
Great. Any other follow-up questions? Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So let's say last season, but we were talking about college banners a while back. So that's the agenda item for, that's next up. The thought originally was to communicate with local schools to highlight students and hang the banners that represent them across the city, majority on Florence, and I believe on Eastern or Garfield, and to use those to highlight education. The question is, at what point should we start looking at that? Is that still something that this commission wants to push forward?
I spoke with somebody at the community services in the city of La Mirada. They have a college banner program. Their application process for that just opened this last week, and it goes until April. They have a committee that's made up of 2 staff members from the city and 2 staff members from the school. So what they do is they select the students that get the banners put up, and the school district pays for it. I know that last year, Roseanne mentioned that there was funding earmarked for these college banners for this year. So I'm not sure if that's still the case. She also mentioned she talked to Public Works because, as previously mentioned, we had a veterans banner program. So she was going to look into and check with Public Works whether they still have the pole brackets. So what City of La Mirada does is they have 16 pole brackets. That committee gets together in May and they select the 16 students who get their banners put up. They take the pictures of the students, they do the graphics, and then they send it to print, and the district pays for it. So maybe that's something we can look into in the future, is working with the district to have them fund it, and the city work together, or this commission work together in selecting the banners that go up. But that's what the city of La Mirada does. I know a couple of other neighboring cities has a college banner program, so they might do something similar. Also, the only criteria they have is that they must have a 3.5 GPA. The application process probably lists other extracurricular activities that help the committee make a decision on who they want to select for the 16 students that get their banners put up. They also mentioned that it's only one high school, La Mirada. There's only one high school in La Mirada. So they present the students that are selected at the senior night that's held at the high school when they award scholarships and their awards night. So the city shows up on that night. They announce the 16 students who are going to have their banners, and they present them with a poster size of the banner at that awards night. I just wanted to share that information.
That's really valuable information, Christina. I assumed they just had a banner for anyone who wanted one.
I mean, this commission can think of what they want to do. We don't have to, but that's just kind of a framework and guideline that we can work off of so that we don't have to start all over. We can just use some of what other cities are doing and go off of that.
Do we know if anyone has spoken to Public Works to see if there's an update of how many brackets we have, or if there's even brackets on the poles, or if that's something that needs to be installed and purchased?
I don't know if you did, Anna, but I'm emailing them as we speak to find that information out for you. Yeah. And is it something that the commission is looking to move forward with implementing? I will look through our budget to see if I can identify where the banner program, if Roseanne had put the money in and identify that. And if the commission desires that we move forward with that, then we'll want to do that quickly because we're running into the end of the year, and we want to, if we want to do it for this year, then it'll have to be something we consider doing maybe, now in the immediate future.
Right. I was hoping we can get it done for this year, since Roseanne mentioned last year that funding had been earmarked for it for this year. That's why I'm bringing it up now. So what City of La Mirada does is they put the banners up just right before graduation, and they stay up for the year until the following year when the new banners are selected, the new students are selected.
So if we also have a veterans program for banners, probably the real estate to hang the banners is highly desirable for both. So maybe we consider I'm sorry, and I'm sorry if I'm asking very basic questions. Is the Veterans Banner Program something that the Education Commission also oversees, or is that just a citywide? Okay, I think maybe.
That was something they did like more than 10 years ago.
Oh, okay, so we haven't done it recently. Okay.
They haven't done it in a long time.
Okay, I'm not going to ask a question.
But, right. But I remember that program, so I mentioned, well, there should be some brackets still in existence because they had a previous banner program.
Okay, yeah, got it. Norwalk also has a high school banner program, but the schools select the children, not the city. I like the idea that the commission would be involved with who we want to hang in our city, that it, I mean, granted, Bell Gardens High School is in the city of Bell Gardens, but that's a pretty cool caveat. So if the commission wants to move forward with it, we can help develop some, the guidelines around how it's selected, and by using La Mirada or whatever other city we want to use as the template, and just kind of filling in and plugging in what we feel best suits our community. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel, which is great.
Right. And perhaps it could be tied into the scholarship program.
And that's what I was going to slowly segue into. Thank you, Anna. It's, at some point, both these things, we're talking about them simultaneously. I think the only reason why I'm personally worried about the college banner program is because it'll take a little bit more effort to put everything up. So I know that as a commission, it's probably easier for us to do the student scholarship program. I'm wondering if we're all on board on pushing forward with the college banner program.
I know this is something you brought up last year as far as the college banner program, in hopes that it would be implemented this year for these students graduating for the class of 2022. So if we could move it forward and it become a reality for our city, I definitely would agree for us to do that.
I'm also in agreement with that.
Commissioner Herrera?
I am open to moving forward with it. I think if we have an ad hoc committee now that plan everything from now until our next meeting, I think it would help us to kind of just get all of the pieces of information and see if it's actually something that we can do. But I'm open to it.
Vice Chair, what do you think about the idea of an ad hoc committee?
I would support a ad hoc committee as well as supporting this going through for this year.
Okay, so it looks like we're all on board. Would anybody like to spearhead? I think 2 commissioners is a good balance to spearhead the College Banner Ad Hoc Committee.
I would like to be involved in that.
I believe if it's any way, like anything similar to how councils run, which I think it is, I think you can't have more than 3, otherwise it's considered like a quorum. So I think you have to have 2, only 2.
Okay.
And then staff can be.
Okay, so we have Commissioner Herrera, who is going to be on the ad hoc committee. Anybody else would
I
like
can
to?
be on the ad hoc committee if there's nobody else that wants to do it. I can go ahead and do that.
Okay. Perfect. So that's 2. And Anna, you'll help coordinate staff members with the commissioners?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Are there any other comments for College Banners?
I'll reach out to La Mirada and ask them to send me over their, if they have it in writing, any info that they can send us so that we can share it with you all and then use that as our starting base. Because we'll need to update some things, I'm sure, to make it specific to Bell Gardens and how we want to do it. And so I'll go ahead and reach out to the director and ask him to send me over whatever info he has.
Perfect. Okay, moving on to our student scholarship program. We kind of learned a little bit from how we did it last season. And I think we've kind of learned a little bit about it, and we're using it at the art contest level as well. So the student scholarship program will probably kick off around the same time, and we need to revisit rubrics, dates, and kind of essay prompts. Suggestions, comments?
I know with the rubric, we were talking in the past about having it a little bit more detailed, just because I know there were several essays that we all read that got the same scoring. So it's kind of difficult to decipher, like, you know, who was first, second, third. So maybe fleshing out some of the rubrics, current components so that it's a little bit more detailed and we have finite points for each of them.
Any other
I
comments?
agree with Francis. I agree with Francis. You can always review the current rubric we used the previous year. And there's always a gap for improvement, so we can look at where we can make improvements and update our rubrics for the scholarship program this year.
And the prompts.
Yeah, I'm also in agreement with that. Like last year, we kind of came up with it on the fly, basically, right? Due to the time, but I think definitely we could restructure all that and just add or delete or whatever we seem fit as far as redoing the rubric and also the prompt questions. I think there was other things too, but I don't recall as far as things that we wanted to update as well.
The other thing I noticed was these transcripts. If, you know, we want to be uniform and have everybody consistent. We had some people turning in just like official transcripts. Some people had unofficial transcripts. Some people didn't have their cumulative GPA, or if we're going to go off the cumulative GPA or the semester GPA. So I think we should get that all tuned in and narrowed down.
So do we need an ad hoc committee for the scholarship program?
It almost seems like we do, or if not all of us participating in that. Because another thing, you know, when we were reading these scholarships too, is like creating a prompt or maybe like a Google doc where they could fill in the blanks. Because there was a lot of questions that seemed to me they didn't answer, and maybe they were lost in translation or something happened where it was really difficult.
I recall us talking about having like a one pager as well with, the student's name, their GPA, and then whatever activities they were involved in, activity outside of school, or, whatever else they did, sports, community service. And I know that that's something that we asked in the prompt, but it wasn't really listed in their essay. So just to have like a one pager where they do have all that stuff already filled out, and then we can read their essay in addition to. I think that's something
Right.
we can incorporate this year. And I do remember us talking about that.
So that it's not part of their essay.
No, it's not part of their essay. It's literally just like a quick reference where
Like a brag sheet.
Yeah, like at a glance, we can look at it and we can see all the extracurricular activities they're involved in, community service, sports, GPA, just all have all that stuff listed already.
And I think that was a confusion there, right? Because they were responding to all that in their essay prompt. And that's basically what made it confusing for us too. And hopefully, I mean, thank you for bringing that up, the one pager, because that would be extremely helpful for us readers, basically.
It's almost like a fun facts sheet.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, I know a lot of high schools have students work on a brag sheet where they put all that stuff like a resume sort of thing. So we can always have the students submit a brag sheet so that that information is easily accessible, so that we're not looking through their essay to try to find that information so that we can score them on those components. But if they can just submit a brag sheet and then accompanied by their essay, that would be great.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry about that. I would also agree with that, because I think a lot of these high school students, especially who are seniors, may already have a brag sheet that they send to a professor to kind of, get a letter of rec. So yeah, I agree with that as well.
Anna, when are the kids out of class? When is the end of school? Because we want to award this while they're still in school, correct?
Correct. I have the calendar.
I think it's like June. I know you told me at one point.
I have it.
Like mid-June or something like that.
Yes. Last day of school, June 10th.
Okay, so that's
Last day
kind of like
school is June 10th.
we obviously want to do it, before June 10th, but
I'll see if I can get an official last day, because they lost a few days returning from their winter break. And some of our staff who are high school seniors mentioned that they were going to add dates to the end of the year to make up for those lost dates. So I'll just confirm that June 10th, but as far as their academic calendar goes, it says that June 10th is their official last day of school.
I think it might behoove the commission if we do maybe assign an ad hoc, and then that way the ad hoc can develop a suggested rubric and template and then bring it back to the commission for input, instead of having to try and do it all together all at the same time. It might take a little bit longer to do it that way. And then we can assist in maybe seeking out some sample. Lots of cities have scholarship programs, and maybe seeking some samples to go off of and helping, get things fine-tuned to present at the next commission meeting. Because if we wait to do it on, next month, then that pushes us back another month before we can get the info out to the kids. And so if they're going to be applying for, or if we're going to do the banner and the scholarship simultaneously, we'll want to give ourselves enough time to make sure that we can successfully prepare them for submitting all the things that they need to do. I mean, I think a lot of it will probably be very similar, maybe type of information. So hopefully it won't cause too much confusion. But I think if we start with a smaller group to get the nuts and bolts in, and then we can go through and tighten things up to move along quickly.
I agree.
I agree with that as well. I think we have a good base. I think a lot of the suggestions coming from all the commissioners are really what we learned from last time. So I think keeping that in mind, as long as the ad hoc is in that mindset, it'll be pretty easy to kind of flush everything out.
To just elevate what we did last year.
Absolutely.
Which,
Absolutely.
would you all be comfortable maybe sending in an email your suggested updates, maybe to Daisy and Anna? And then we can compile it for the ad hoc. And then that way everyone has the opportunity to put, you guys can go back and think about it a little bit and then put it in an email. And then we can give that information to the ad hoc and use it in developing it. So then when we come back, all the consideration is put in there, and then we'll have a draft of a pretty good document.
Sounds good. So the idea is to move forward with an ad hoc for the student scholarship program? All is in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it looks like I'd hate to add more additional responsibility to somebody that's already on an ad hoc committee. Commissioner Oscar and Commissioner Christina, would you be open to working together for the student scholarship program?
Yeah, we could do that.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Are there any other questions or comments on this topic before we move on?
Yes, I have one question. Are we still going to present the scholarships at the city's graduation? Is that something that's still happening this year?
So we talked about it as a team with the supervisors and I, and trying to manage the resources we have available to us with regards to staffing and time. And because we're returning back into the short answer is probably not, we won't have the graduation. It was really to provide the community with something that they were missing because of COVID, but because schools are now back in session and they're providing that, you know, back to the community, we wanted to focus more on the scholarship aspect and then look into developing like our teen volunteer program and maybe doing like a party at the end of the year for them, maybe next year. So no, we're not planning to have the graduation. So we would have to figure out, you know, what do we want to do? Maybe we bring them. I'm just thinking like maybe we bring them out at 4th of July and have a, you know, on the stage at 4th of July and we give them a big fake check or something like that, you know, because if it's for high school seniors, they'll be using it, you know, probably going into the next semester or first year in college or whatever the case may be. But that way it's a big stage for them and it's kind of a cool, maybe a cool thing. I don't know, but you all can decide what you feel would be best for how we present the scholarships. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great question. Are there any other questions or comments before we move on regarding the student scholarship program? Okay, next agenda item is the community health fair.
Well, that was me basically. So as you all are aware, I work in healthcare for a big healthcare organization. So we had this discussion before, and I think the only closest thing that we had to a health fair was, I believe, was it a 5K, 10K, Anna, that we had? And it was in partnership, right, with a different organization?
Yes, well, there was a health fair in October here at Veterans Park. It was a community health fair, but the plan was to add a health fair component to the 5K, which was postponed and postponed again, and now postponed again to October, to its original time of the year. But I believe the Community Family Service Center is planning a health fair. I don't know if Liz has a date for that.
No, it won't be this fiscal year. So before July, it won't be before July. We just don't have the ability to roll that out that quickly, but it is absolutely on our radar to do. But it would be for next fiscal year probably. But staff have been, we just recently kind of redistributed workloads, and staff are really excited to take on assignments, and that was actually one of the assignments that we discussed was Health First. So it is on our radar. Staff are aware that they're going to be planning one. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get it done before, during this school year or this fiscal year. Yeah.
Perfect. And for me, it's big, right? Especially with the health disparities here in the city.
Right.
I think it's like perfect to have a health fair and leverage with different healthcare providers as well from the city or outside the city as well to create like a big health fair. And maybe we could tie like CERT training into that as well, right? To educate the public. I mean, I'm just having a vision here as far as we could go with all this.
Yeah, and we can talk about, how we can incorporate it to like education, and maybe we come back in the summer or a little bit later and focus and have more in-depth conversation about what the commission's vision is on that and how the city can try and, make that happen.
Perfect. Yeah, because even I guess pre-pandemic, I always was an advocate of having like a public health commission.
Mm-hmm.
But and honestly, like education, health go together in a sense. So
sure, absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah. We will come back to that and circle back.
Thank you.
Great. Any other comments or questions?
I just wanted to mention, I think sometimes the city forgets about the fire department. I know they're LA County Fire Department, but they are here to serve our city residents. They offer a lot of resources as well to educate the community, whether in health. They do offer training in hands-only CPR, which studies show just compressions alone can make a difference and save somebody's life. So that's just like a really easy thing that the fire department can show up at the health fair and teach that to some of the residents as they walk through the booth. And you can also have a representative with a table to talk about CERT so that the community can learn more about what CERT does. And, they're made up of volunteers. And so they might be interested in that. And we can possibly get a class instructed in Bell Garden. So, I just sometimes see city events and I don't see the fire department. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you for that reminder, Christina. I know we were in conversations about doing the CERT certifications here. And I believe the police department was going to follow up with that, and then COVID happened. So we'll have to have that conversation again.
I do have a contact for them. So if you need it, I can send that over.
Can you please email it to me? I have a contact as well, but my contact is different than yours. I remember you mentioning.
So he's the person in charge of the CERT program. So I can send you that contact.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Any other questions or comments about the community health fair? Okay, moving on. Utility box art is an ongoing program that was.
Yes.
We're moving on, Anna.
The utility box art, we just selected a new location earlier this morning. The location that had been previously selected, the box was not in good condition. Public Works tried repairing it. They tried straightening it out. And finally, the company that's going to wrap it said that the graffiti coating wouldn't stick properly with the dents that the box had. And it just made more sense to select a new one. And earlier we decided on a box that I think is in an even much better location. It's on Florence Avenue on the corner of El Salina Avenue and Florence. So it's near the Neighborhood Youth Center and right across the street from Bell Gardens Intermediate. And so I've sent the location to the artist, and now I'm just waiting to see when he's available or when the company's available to start the wrap. And he said he could do it within 2 or 3 days once he gets out here. So we might see it before our next meeting finally.
Thank you for that. I actually brought that up because I noticed another commission was talking about the same thing. So I was wondering if we were overlapping or maybe it's totally different.
I believe they wanted an update. I know that chairperson from the Recreation Commission stopped by my office and she asked for an update. So I don't think they were trying to duplicate what we were doing. Maybe they just wanted to discuss it or know more information.
Thank you.
But I like that competitive nature, Oscar.
I know the original box, Anna, was gonna be placed in front of one of the elementaries. Is that the one that you're saying was not in good condition? So now it's.
Right, it's in front of Cesar Chavez Elementary. And apparently like it was hit by a car. It was just a lot going on for us to try to put it on that box. Again, it just made more sense to select a new location.
So the new location, is this still one of the first utility boxes that is going to be painted throughout the city?
That's going to be the very first one.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Commissioner Christina?
I just wanted to talk a little bit more about, do we know how, that's just going to be like a first trial one, is that right, Anna? The utility box?
The trial being that we weren't sure whether we wanted the artist to paint on the box or to have it wrapped.
Right.
That was what the trial was. The artist suggested that the wrap would be better, it would last longer. And that's the feedback we did receive from other cities.
So is it going to be one artist painting all the utility boxes, or are we going to give that opportunity to various artists within the city or whoever? Is it going to be an application process where people can submit? The
The
city can
original
pick the
plan
ones they
was to
want?
have that artist design the other boxes, but that can be revisited.
I would like to revisit that. I would like to see more than one artist paint all those utility boxes, just to give a variety of artists and give them an opportunity to have their art displayed throughout the city. It would be nice to have more than one artist.
Yeah, I think that was our conversation, right? That we're looking into different artists from the city, basically, and I think there was an artist from our previous meeting, we discussed this, that the city was looking into as far as having those discussions. So I think that's where we stop with that, correct?
I think so, because I think at the time, Roseanne mentioned the art commission, or the city needed to come up with the art policy or something like that. So that's what they were waiting on before they would start the utility art project. But correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're correct. And actually I did reach out to the city of Norwalk prior to meeting our new director, and they shared their public art policy with us. And I reached out to a few other cities, and I submitted those as a way to guide us. But I don't know how far along that got.
Yeah, I think Southgate has one, Commerce County.
I believe we were going to almost mimic City of Norwalk's public art policy. So we have the right person here with us, if that's the way we were going to go.
It's a little bit unique for Norwalk. So they have built-in funding. Basically, when new developers come into the city, they are required to either install an art piece or give the city funding for art pieces around the city. And because it's a lot easier just to cut a check, they don't necessarily install an art piece. And so the city has the ability to then go out and hire artists. And but the utility boxes are actually in Norwalk are done by local high school students. They had one box that was done by the local Girl Scout troops that, so they kind of assigned them to different organizations. And the Girl Scout troop one is like not professional at all. It's like the little girls' drawings, it's cute. And it has their Girl Scout logo and the troop number. And so it just depends on, what kind of is the feel that we're looking to go for. It can, you can award a utility box as part of the art contest, and they can, that their image can be on the box or whatever. So Norwalk has funding built in and available. They already have an established committee called the Art in Public Places Commission, I believe it's called. And so it's a little bit, more established with regards to the funding, because it does cost money to do this work. And so we would be starting from scratch. And so the big question is, where do we get the dollars to pay for, you know, these projects that we're doing? And I think that's where maybe the idea of the art commission was brought up. That would have to be council driven, you know, if they wanted to assign a brand new commission to emphasize art in the city. But if we wanted to just further along, you know, doing these wraps and figure out ways to, and I'm not sure how the funding came about for the current wrap, and so I can do research and look into that. But those are just some of the things that we'll have to think through, and we can present it to city council and say, hey, the commission is really interested in this, and what do you think? Would this be something that would meet the goals of the city, and take it from there?
Yeah, I think that's something we discussed in our contest. I think Chairperson Flores and former Chairperson De Leon Sanchez brought up last time, and that was a great idea. But we're kind of all over the place right now.
We are. The first installation does include some of the Girl Scouts art. So we had an activity with them and the artist to talk about what teachers mean to them. And so one of the sides of the box will include their drawings, their renditions, and some of their wording, I think. But the idea was that the artist was going to design different career loteria cards. They're going to look or mimic a loteria card, and each one would be a different career. And the first one was a teacher, la maestra, el maestro. And that's why they had decided on one artist doing a group of these. But again, only one has been created, so it can shift a little. We can pivot.
I think to just put a couple things together, I think what we can do now is probably look at which utility box are actually viable, right, through public work, that we could figure out how many we can actually use. But to go back a little bit, I think originally the idea is to try to showcase, obviously, student artwork and using any available utility boxes that could be used to switch over. That way we can highlight student art. And so I think that's why we're also very excited about that it was in front of some of the schools. That way the schools can somehow collaborate. But I think this is definitely a discussion that's going to have to continue on, especially since we have, as Commissioner Oscar mentioned, we have some couple plates spinning right now as we're pushing things forward. But I think right now maybe a research moment for the utility box art is in order. When is the wrap going to happen?
Let me see if he's, I'm just waiting for a confirmation from. He has not replied to my email, but as soon as I hear back from them, I will update all of you.
Okay.
We sent him the new location today, and so he'll probably just have to come out and look at it. And today I was informed that there's one at each light post, which I didn't realize.
I don't know if that means that all of those would be, like you said, we'd have to see which ones are like viable options.
That's a great point, Chairperson Flores, that we can go out and make sure that these are all in good condition and go from there. Because the idea to start at a school was great, but I don't think anybody noticed the condition of the box.
Great. Any other questions or comments regarding the utility box art? Okay. Are there any public comments or public participation?
No.
Staff comments for upcoming events? I believe we did that already, Anna, in the department update.
Yeah, I was
did.
wondering if we need to have both of those items on the agenda or if it's kind of it kind of is redundant. Maybe we
The
take out.
same.
If I may, in previous agendas, we've had like 2 or 3 items on there that are just kind of reminders for the commission. Personally, as a commissioner, I found them pretty, it was a great reminder, and also I had them all kind of listed because the department update can kind of shift. So it doesn't need to be a verbal reminder, but maybe just a couple dates there.
Oh, we did do that. I believe the city clerk asked us to follow a new format. So maybe we can send you a list of upcoming events.
Is the chairperson suggesting that we add the dates on the agenda under that section just so that they're kind of there for you?
That's what we did previously in previous agendas, but as Anna just mentioned, it seemed like the city clerk is preferring a different kind of layout. So an email with upcoming events would be just as good.
I think we went a little rogue there with that list. But it was very informative. I think
It's
we
just because
added
we're
it.
rolling out so
Yeah.
much right now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so we added a list of upcoming dates at probably our last 3 agendas. And I could see how it's helpful for all of us, including myself. So we can make sure to include that as an attachment with your agenda.
Yeah, that'd be great. A secondary attachment. That's a good solution. Okay, commissioner comments.
I just want to once again welcome you, Ms. Nava. Do you go by Liz or Elizabeth? I'm not too sure.
Liz is great.
Okay, just welcome you to our city. Looking forward to working with you and hoping that all the things that we discussed here today, we're able to move forward, especially with the banner and the scholarship program, and we'll see how that looks like this year with the scholarship recipients receiving their awards. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
I guess I could go.
I'd also like to, okay.
Oh, no, go ahead, Commissioner Paul.
I just wanted to echo Commissioner Francis and welcome Liz to the city. It looks like her transition has been smooth as she came from the city of Norwalk, and she's bringing a lot of the knowledge she acquired at Norwalk to the city, which is great. And I just want to thank staff, as always, for all the work that they do to bring resources and programs and funding to the city. I'm happy to hear that the renovation at the Aquatic Center is progressing. And I'm happy to hear about all the grant funding the city has acquired for all the smaller parks. We always hear about Veterans Park and Ford Park, but we sometimes forget about the smaller parks like Hannah and Asmus. So I'm happy to hear that those parks are getting some renovation done and improvements to them as well. Happy to hear that the recreation classes are starting back up. Residents are always happy to hear that in-person recreation classes are starting at the city, so I'm happy to hear that. And I'm just happy to hear about all the programs and the essay contest, the scholarship, and the college banner, that those agenda items that were put on previously are moving forward. Thank you.
And I would kind of echo what Commissioner Paulo has said. And once again, I want to give a special thanks to Commissioner Francis De Leon Sanchez for your leadership. You did an amazing job this past year. And going back to our new chairperson, Flores said, like, you kept us in line and on task. So we really appreciate that. And then also welcome, Ms. Nava. I'm happy to have you here. Roseanne did amazing work, and it seems we're not going to miss a beat. So I'm really happy for that. And just thanking staff in the last couple of years, and even now, I mean, we're in a transition right now, and everywhere you go right now, everybody's doing more with less. And just want to give kudos to the staff for all their amazing work. So thank you.
I just want to echo what everybody else has also said as well. It's nice to meet you, Ms. Nava, and I think now more than ever, I see how much staff at Bell Gardens actually does and all of the work that they all do. And I've honestly, obviously, this is my first commission, so I think there's so much more to the commission than what I had thought, and there's so much work that is done. So I just want to say thank you to all of you, and to all my fellow commissioners, and just all the work that we're all doing. And I'm excited to see all of these things that are going to happen. But yeah.
And thank you. I also want to welcome Liz. Continue to look forward to all the exciting work that's happening with the grants. And I'm sure it's a very busy time for you. So thank you for that continued effort. Also to the commissioners, thank you for jumping on the ad hoc committees. These are two very important things that have been dear to the commission itself. So the fact that we're putting some additional time in and working towards that, I'm very grateful for, and I know that it's part of the mission of what we've been trying to achieve, commissioners. And for the trust as a chairperson, thank you for the nomination, Commissioner Oscar. I will not forget that. And then finally, thank you, former chairperson. Grateful for the energy and the foundational leadership. You've been with us and it's grown this commission, so it's definitely set us up for what we're doing today. So that will end our meeting. Is there a motion to end our meeting?
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
And a second?
I second the motion.
Motion carries. And that concludes our meeting at 6:15.
Thank you, everyone. It was so great meeting you. Looking forward to working with you all.
Likewise.
Likewise, have a great night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.